All right. Let's start. For the first one, you had to power over power. You got to multiply, right? You got to distribute that 3. So what's 6 to the third power? 216. Very good. So this was 216. 4 times 3 and 6 times 3. So that was your answer. All right. All right, next one. Distributed 3. 4 to the third power. How much? 64. Yes? All right. 3 times 3 and 3 times 3. And you're done. All right. Negative 48 divided by negative 8 is positive 6. Very good. And now we're going to subtract, right? And keep them where the biggest one is. So 2 minus 1, 1. And 4 minus 1, you're done. Yes? 22 divided by 2, 11. I'm going to move this guy to the top. I subtract here, because that's the quotient rule. So y to the, ooh, thank you, I was adding, did you see what I did? 5, and then this 2 I add. So 8, because it's the power, is the multiplication rule, right? So 8 plus 7 would be, and you're done. All right. Next one. That's 1. Trash it, right? So this is 6, y to the 8th. All right, distribute. What is 2 to the 4th power? 16? Yes, so minus 16. And 2 times 4? 8. And what is 6? y8 minus 16, y8. We did this in summer. You just take away. That will be negative 10 y to the 8th power. Very good. Good job. All right. So 6 times, ooh, this is 1, right? Trash it. I love those zeros. So 6 times 3? 18. And then multiplication rule says you got to add them. So x to the 10th. Yay? All right. 2 and negative 8? No. Negative 1/4, right? You simplified. The 8 doesn't go into the 2 4 times. It's the other way around. The 2 goes into the 8 4 times. So we got a negative, we got a 1, and we got a 4. Yay? All right. Subtraction. Keep it where the biggest one is. So x at the bottom. There you go. All right. Distribute. What's 3 to the 5th? Don't tell me 15 because chancleta. 243. All right. 2 times 5, 10. 7 times 5, and m times 5, m5. And then I have to subtract those two. Very good. And keep it where the biggest one is. So 243, m to the 5th, n to the 30. Very good. We're done. Yay? All right. I would move those 3 up and then that one down, right? So that you get rid of the negatives. All right. So I'm going to write what I have at the top. What I have at the top is x3, y2, x2. Yes? What I have at the bottom is what I'm going to change right now, which is 2y to the 2nd. And then what I didn't change, which is y2, x4, and y. Yay? All right. I can add those 2. I can add those 2 plus the 1 that comes out of here, right? All right. So at the top, what do I have? Very good. And then y to the 2nd. Very good. What's 2 to the 2nd? 4. What's y? There's a 1 over here. 1 times 2 would be 2. So now I can add 2, 4, and 5. It's okay. And now I can subtract, right? and keep it where the biggest one is. So 5 minus 4, 1x, 5 minus 2, and you keep it at the bottom. Yay? Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're getting this wrong, it's because you're trying to do too many things at once. I'm going to tell you what smart kids like you guys do. Smart kids like you want to do 5 and 6 and 7 things at the same time. And 90% of the time it works because you're smart enough to do it. But with this, look at my face. No. No. Don't try to do too many things at once because you mess up. It's really easy. These are really easy, but there's too many rules, right? That you have to remember at the same time. So don't try to do too many things at the same time in here. Because problems like this, you got to bank them on the star, but you got to take your time with them. All right? All right. 2x, I would distribute the negative. And I'm going to tell you why I would distribute the negative. Because what's negative times a negative? There you go. I would distribute it first. So this is 2x3y3. 3 times negative 1, negative 3. But negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Do I really have to write it? No. 2x squared y squared. Now, 2 divided by 2 is 1, right? Yes? What do I have to do with this guy? Move it to the bottom, and it's no longer there. So let's see. I can add that, and this, right? So 3 plus 1, and I already had x cubed, right? And then 2 and 3, and I already had y2. Now I need to use the quotient rule, which means you got to subtract, right? Keep it where the biggest one is. So 5 minus 3, bottom, right? 4 minus 2, 2, and it's to the top. Very good. All right? Yay? Yes? All right. So we started something new last Friday. So my paper people, may we please? We got 4 different papers that we need to pass out today. We're not going to do them all today, but we got 4. So can we please do one at a time? Extras go back over there, okay? I don't need one. I got copies. Thank you, Dora. Thank you, Dora. Can somebody get the door over there at the bottom? At the bottom, at the end of the room. I understand. No, you got them. All right, babies, take a look at your reference sheet. All right, Fridays, it was just last Friday, we started using this rule right here. Can you see it? This glare. That right there? Oh my God, can you see it? That one? Yay? It's this line over there. All right, and those are the rational exponents. The numerator was how many you had, and the denominator was the root of it, right? Yeah. All right. So, and I told you, you really didn't, I mean, you will learn all of this. You really won't need the reference sheet to do them. But if you're not sure, they're right there for you, right? The only one that's not there is the 0 power, which is always. And x to the first power is what? What's x to the first power? X to the first power is always itself. It's like multiplying by 1, right? Miss Marine times 1 is Miss Marine. Miss Marine times 2. Oh my God, there's 2 of me. All right? That's scary. So, hey, 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 hey. All right. So the numerator is how many you got? Denominator is the root. I am writing it as a radical form, which means you gotta have your roots. Roots are the same thing as radical. So how many sevens do you have? One. What kind of root is it? Not two. Squared. 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 Alrighty. Number two. Four is your main number, which is your base. How many do you have? Four of them. What kind of root is it? Cubic. Third root or cubic root. Very good. Now, on Friday, we talked about how many come out depending on what kind of root was it, right? That means this, right? There's four fours multiplied by itself. But on a cubic root, how many do you need to take one out? Three. On a square root is two. On a cubic root is three. On a fourth root is four. On a fifth root is five. On a sixth root is, and so on, right? So those three make me take one out. And then how many stay in? One. So there's your answer. 4 cubic root of 4. For every 3, 1 comes out. All right. Let's do the next one. How many 2's do you have? 5. What kind of root is it? Cubic. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For every 3, 1 comes out. So how many 2's come out? All right, again, for every 3, 1 comes out. So 1, I've highlighted them for you. Those 3 make 1 because it's a cubic root. I'm going to show you. What is 2? This is 2 times 2 times 2, right? Which is the same thing as 2 to the third power. That's 8, correct? All right, let's do cubic root of 8. Math, 4, 8. That's why it's 2. For every 3, 1 comes out because it's cubic root. So 1 comes out. And how many stay in? 2. Which could also be written as 2 squared would be what? 4. All right. You have a 7. How many 7's do you have? 4. What kind of root is it? Cubic. 1, 2, 3, and 4. For every 3, how many come out? 1. So this is 7 cubic root of 7 because that one cannot go to the party. It needs 2 more to be able to be invited, right? Invitations are for 3 people and 3 people only. If you don't have 3, you can't go. Yay? Does that make sense? All right, 6 to what power? How many 6's do you have? 3. What kind of root is it? Squared. Now this would be 1, 2, and 3, right? How many do you need to get 1 out? 2. These are couples party. You need another person, right, to go with you. So 1 out and 1 in. There you go. That's a 2. How many do you have? 1. What kind of root is it? 6. So can anybody come to the party? No, you need at least 6 to get one invitation, right? Yes? All right. Now this one's we're going to write it in exponential form. We're not going to solve. We're just going to write them in exponential form. All right. How many tens do you have? 3. And what's your root? So this is 10 to the 3 halves. 2 to what? Say that again. 1/6. Thank you. Cornelius missed this on Friday and he's already have it. Shame on the other ones. Because he's answering a lot quicker than the people that stay here Friday. All right. 2 to what power? 5/4. You got 5 2's. Square root of 4. 5 to what power? 5/4. There you go. Good job, babies. 2 to the 1/3. Not 4. 1/3. You only have 1 2. And it's a cubic root. Yes? All right. 10 to what? 1/6. There you go. You're done with that part. All right. The first thing that I need to do is what? On that next one. Get away what? Get rid of what? Get rid of the negative. Very good. How do I get rid of that negative? Over 1. Very good. Now we got to write it in radical form, which means you got to have a root, right? All right. How many 5x's do you have? 5. Very good. And what kind of root is it? Just look at your cheat sheet if you don't have it. You don't even have your reference out. If you don't understand, look at your reference sheet. Is the rational exponent rule. All right. I have 5, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For every 4, 1 comes out. So how many come out? 1. Very good. And 1 cannot go, right? Yeah, he's grounded. You got that right. All right, I got to put it over 1, right? So how many 5x's do I have? 1. And what kind of root is it? And that's it because I need at least 2 of them for 1 to come out, right? All right, how many 10n's do I have? 3. Why does Miss Marine put it in parentheses and not just beside the n? Why do I put the whole thing in parentheses? Why do I put 10n in parentheses and then put the 3? Why don't I write it like this? Thank you. Very good. Give your family 50 points because then it would only be for n and not for 10n. Thank you. This is only for n. This is for everything. And what goes inside that radical? Everything, right? You can't put your right side and then leave your left side of the body on the other side, right? That doesn't make any sense. So you got to put everything in there. Okay, what kind of root is this? All right. So you need 2 to come out and play. I have 3 in there. So only 1 is coming out. Very good. So 1 comes in. 1 comes out, I'm sorry. Uh-oh. And the other one stays in, right? All right. How many A's do I have? 6. And what kind of root is it? All right. I need 5 to come out and play. And I have 6. If you don't understand it, expand it. So 1 comes out, right? And then how many stay in? 1, the one that's not highlighted. Yay? Yes? Can I tell you a little secret? This right here, all these things, That's algebra 2. Your algebra 1 test will stop it here. It is. So isn't that cool? All right, let's go to the next one. Uh-oh, 1.5. Thank you. Give your family 50 points. What fraction would that be? 1/2? 1/5? Oh my God. We can't turn that into a fraction. 3/2, not 1/2. 3/2, not 1/2. And if you don't know, shame on you, but there's a calculator that will do it for you. So I don't understand why you're giving me the wrong darn fraction. All right. So how many 6V's do I have? 3. What kind of root is it? Squared. Okay, so how many need to be together to come out and play? 2. And I got 3. So how many comes out? 1, and then the other one stays in, is grounded. Yay? All right, first thing that I need to do is get rid of that. Oh, so 1 over. How many m's do I have? And what kind of root is it? Squared. And the square one, you don't have to do it. You don't have to put the 2 because it's the smallest one. All right. Exponential form. This is so easy because all you're doing is writing it as a fraction, not as a fraction, as a number with an exponent, right? Which will be fractions. All right, so m to what power? There you go. 6x to what power? And in parentheses, because Jimmy told us that if we don't put it in parentheses, it's only for the x. It's been a good boy today. All right, v to what power? 1/4. 6p to what power? 1 what? 1/2. Thank you. 3a to what power? 4/3. This one's easy, right? Uh-oh, look at that one. Thank you. Give your family 50 points. It's supposed to be a negative. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Love you. I didn't hear you. 3K, give your family 50 points too. All right. What negative fraction would that be? Negative 1/5. Very good. Now on this one, we're going to have to simplify. So this is what? What's 9 to the 1/2? All right, again, what do you do when you have a fraction? What do you do? We just did it. What do you do when you have a fraction? No, we're not going to the calculator and put in 1/2. Come on. So, how do I write it? You got to write it as a radical first. Thank you. So, what would that be? Square root of 9, for crying out loud? We just did it like 5 minutes ago. Come on. My babies. Woo. What is the square root of 9? 3. All right, what about that one? 1 over, right? All right. How many of those do you have? 4. And what kind of root is it? Cubic. Now, for every 3, 1 comes out. You have 4. And the other one stays in. Now, just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and do the cubic root of 343. Because I don't know. It might be something else. So let's do, that will be 4. 343. Oop, and that's 7. All right, so that is 343 times 7. 24, 0, 1. Now another thing that we can do, we can go back to that one and write it just like that and see if it gives me 2401. So let's do it. Math, cubic root is 4, and I'm going to do 343 to the fourth power, correct? Is that what I got in there? Cubic root of 343 to the fourth power, and there it is, 2401. Okay? So try it with a calculator. If it gives you a whole number, you're done, right? But if it gives you a decimal, then you have to go back for every 3, 1 comes out. For every 2, 1 comes out. And so like, okay? Yay? All right. Oh, this is easy. That's a million. All right, how many millions do you have? What kind of root? 6. Just do it in the calculator. Let's try the calculator first. Which one do I pick? The 5. And then I'm going to go back and write the 6. Oh, I wrote the 3. It's a 6, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Should be 10. This is how I know, because the base is always 10. Shh. You have 6 zeros. 1 comes out, right? Don't you have 6 zeros over there? Yes? Then 1 comes out. And you already have the 1, don't you? So that would be 10. All right. How many 36 do you have? 3. What kind of root is it? Square root. So let's see. 36 to the third power. If it's a decimal, I'm going to go back and do it the regular way, okay? The every 2, 1 comes out and so on. I don't want any decimals. 216. I'm good. So use the calculator first. If it gives you a decimal, then you have to go back. Now, if you have letters, you can't do the calculator, right? All right, what's my next one? Uh-oh. How many do I have? 1. What kind of root is it? All right. For every 2, 1 comes out. So how many come out? 1, 2, and 3. So this would be x to the third power. N, 9 to the fourth. How many do I have? 1. What kind of root is it? All right. So what's the square root of 9? 3. And for every 2, 1 comes out. So how many come out? 2. Yay? All right. 64 n to the 12th. How many do, over 1, right? How many do I have? 1. And what kind of root is it? 6. So let's do the 6th root of 64. I think it's 2. Yep. You see it? Did you get 6? Do we know how to do this in the calculator? If you don't know, you need to ask your family members, because there's at least one person that knows how to do it. All right. That's important. All right. And then for every 6, that's 12. For every 6, 1 comes out. So n to the second power. Yay? All right. 81 m to the 6. How many do you have? 1. And what kind of root is it? It's squared, right? So what's the square root of 81? 9. And then for every 2, 1 comes out. That's 2, 4, 6. How many come out? 3. Yay? So m to the third. Yes? Pretty easy, right? It really is. Are we good? All right, let me tell you which ones we're doing next. All right,